following is a fan-based parody. Fate Apocrypha is owned by Type Moon, A1 Pictures, Aniplex, Kadokawa, Netflix, Kinoko Nasu, and Yuichiro Higashide. Please support the official release.
Morning, Sieg. How'd you sleep?
Fantastically! Considering I only fell asleep at 5:49, I wish I were still doing it. What time is it?
6:30?
6:30? Oh, I just want to go back to sleep.
Oh, you're fine. You just need a kick. How about some coffee?
Coffee, huh? Let's see.
For a limited time, any size Wawa coffee any way you like it is just $1. Come in and get yours today.
Oh, that's the stuff that's supposed to wake you up really fast, right? Sure, I'll have some. This stuff smells like sadness and boiled dirt.
You've never had coffee before, have you?
No, I have not. Off topic, though. Can I ask you something?
Ask away.
What would you say the deeper meaning in all your work is?
Aside from eating, not much.
Not much? That's it?
Son, I've had a long life. A wild one when I was your age.
Right, my age.
Something about that seem off?
No, please continue.
See, that's the funny thing. You kids seem to think we never wanted excitement, but that's not true. I've seen a lot, done a lot. Wouldn't trade that for the world. I think all of that was probably to earn the right to farm and do nothing in peace.
So, you're saying I have to earn this?
No, kid. I just think you want to.
It's almost like a flying castle. Must be some sort of defensive noble phantasm. They're deploying dragon-tooth skeletons too. Lots of them.
Can you estimate a number?
Hundreds, maybe a few thousand. The homunculi and golem should be able to keep up, but they won't do much more than that. Down to the servants, then!
You think so?
There's no reason we shouldn't fight too, but we should stay close to the castle. If any of us are rushed with superior numbers, we're dead, servants and all. That works for me. Caster, see to it that Spartacus knows his place. Berserker, take charge and counter any spread noble phantasms they set off. I'll see to it that Lancer of Red is occupied. Darnic, give Ryder the directive to attack from the air. You intend to set him free? I actually told you that 4 hours ago. You seem to be hard of hearing.
What about Uncle Gord?
What about Uncle Gold?
Caules, stay on standby for command seals. And don't let me get carried away.
Understood. Archer, single out Achilles. If any of us can handle him one-on-one, it'll be you. With all due respect, Vlad, couldn't you just send a stake through his heel and be done with it? Possibly. Are you saying you'd rather take Khan? No, sir. It's Lord. And wow, in retrospect, they basically all just told us their names, didn't they?
Alright, so, what did I miss?
Ugh, well, since Darnic is apparently too good to give you the orders I passed along, Ryder, you're to charge the castle from the air. Servants of Black, we ride tonight with one directive. Win the war! Never before have 12 heroic spirits battled in the same night. Our numbers are equal, but our will is greater. Show them the meaning of our anthem. Everyone, fuck the red team!
Listen, you attack the Black faction, it's back to the chains. We're not your enemy, but we will defend ourselves.
Spartacus!
Yes, Spartacus, very eloquent. If I remember, your legend was that of a rebel who fought against the powerful. There's a servant wielding a flag, a woman in blue, who I think you'll find very interesting. After all, rebels despise rulers, do they not?
Spartacus! 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 Spartacus!
Huh. Well, that worked.
Hey, Caster, you got a second?
Nope!
So, Caster, I've been meaning to ask you something. Oh? What might that be? I do kind of understand how Spartacus got loose and all. That much I don't question. But do you have any idea how he knew where to find the castle? Oh, right. That. Maybe he just overheard us talking about it at some point. You know, these things happen. I certainly didn't take pity on him, and I've said too much.
What do you even do?
Well, I'm completely incapable of magecraft, but I am a damn good showman.
I shouldn't have asked. Ryder, how's cover on the ground going?
It's 4 in the morning! What the fuck happened before midnight?
Excuse you! It is not my fault that you felt compelled to summon a lightning bolt just below the lookout!
How the fuck else was I supposed to get my chariot there?
Listen, you carrot-top flyboy!
Phoebus catastrophe!
Oh, that's pretty.
focus on what's in front of us, I will break the chariot and the gardens come next. Shirou, orders!
Right. Atalanta, you take on Spartacus. Achilles, find the enemy archer. Karna? I know my job, Old Spice. Now if you're done getting your hair gel, we have another living lightning rod at our 11 o'clock. You want to take care of that?
For those who trample upon the land of my people, I show no mercy. Gorge on your own blood. Kazikli. Bang!
Seriously? Gorge on your own blood. You do know those were skeletons, right?
Oh, rest assured. I meant that comment for you.
Chilling. I assume you're the Black Lancer then?
Guilty as charged. And you?
Oh, I don't know. Did the giant goddamn spear not communicate it to you?
I asked as a courtesy. After all, it's impolite to disrespect the dead.
Get me excited, why don't you?
Now, die! Incredible defense, but it won't save you point blank.
Interesting theory. My rebuttal?
That might be a problem.
Okay, I cannot be the only one wondering how you got back on your horse so fast.
Reflexes, Lancer of Red. Not everyone elects to take the brunt of oncoming attacks. You may want to learn that skill yourself.
Is that a challenge?
Would you accept it if it was? Mark the red team!
Alright, staying far away from that.
61? 62?
Do you really need to keep count?
Yes! And this makes...
70. Quite impressive. Say, Berserker, could I offer you a job perhaps?
Something tells me you're not going to get very far doing that, Master.
Who's this ass clown?
I don't know. I haven't seen him before. Call when you need me, Master. I'll not be far. Quite. Well then, Berserker. No. Frankenstein. As a matter of respect, you may know me as Shirou Kotomine. Caster!
Quite! O sword of instant sorrow, grass cutter of the lightning strike, I name thee Nikkei Tenta Mitsuyo, and hereby declare this the beginning of a new story. Slash the pages and rend the spine, so that its contents may adorn the world with their beauty.
That looks very sharp.
Great support, Caules! Oh, to hell with this!
This is taking forever! You know, I wasn't gonna use this again after last time, but fuck it, I see it as I please. Like so!
That's a cute weapon. Alright then, time for the real fight.
So what about that was cute, lady?
Magic resistance? That's annoying. Though I wonder how well that works on amplified spells.
Oh no. Okay, I'm just gonna...
Come on, that the best you got?
What the fuck?
Oh, it's on. It's on!
Right shoulder blade. Shoulders, stomach. I suck it.
This is what you get for being predictable!
What? Apt choice of words. Wait. Chiron?
Look, I just don't think the riding skill applies to such a non-traditional mount!
Of course it does! Look at this! Can anyone else pull this shit in a stick shift?
Yes, they could! They just have to be insane and lucky at the same time!
Nah, my luck is rank D, dude. This is pure bona fide riding right here.
Huh? What are you doing here?
I think the better question is why all of you charged into battle wearing suits and ties.
Bite me, what's your excuse?
Well, these are the only clothes I own, so unless I come into some Caules cash, I'm kinda stuck this way.
I don't know what that is.
Forget it, are you feeling okay?
I felt worse. So have a lot of them, apparently.
Think you can walk?
Probably. Why?
I won't ask you to get too close to the fight, but I have a debt to repay. Strassi, yeah!
Do you just enjoy breaking things, or what?
No, actually, but going off of what Ryder said before, if I want to do right by him, this is the first step.
Wait, him?
Yeah, Ryder was the one who broke me out of here, and he seemed pretty vehemently against the idea of living Duracells thrown onto the front lines. I think he'd appreciate this.
I'm sorry, before you leave, Sieg, you said he'd appreciate this. What do you want?
That's personal.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got into this situation. Well, one hero's death and a day or two later, I'm laying in a dumbass field because I fell from 1,000 feet in the air. God, how can this get any worse? Seriously?
Ugh, you need a more durable car, dude. This one sucked.
Tank! The word you are looking for is tank. Good luck finding one that drives 87 miles an hour.
Yeah, I could've gone faster without all those damn rocks.
Hi.
Oh, hey. What are you supposed to be, the trumpet boy?
I'd say Rider of Black given who we know already. Also, isn't that a girl?
If I'm being honest, it's not an important distinction to me.
For simplicity's sake, I'm just gonna say they.
You do that. I'm gonna get the car somewhere safe.
Oh, so as soon as the going gets tough, you run away.
The going was tough for 54 miles of my life, so I'm gonna take a moment to unwind while I think of an excuse for why the car I rented is now shrapnel on wheels.
Whatever, you do you. Go be boring somewhere else.
Fine, I will! Tell me what to fucking do.
The king enters the battle alone, as per frickin' usual.
So you're a king, huh?
Yeah, don't think that means I'll give away my name yet.
That's fine by me. You can assume the same. So, what's with the human legs?
I'll answer that as soon as you tell me why you're calling Atalanta cis. Also, the cat ears, why any of that?
You know, fair as that may be, I'm not really fond of your tone.
Is it because she got turned into a lion? Because that's a weird, insulting way for that to manifest.
Enough! This isn't why we're here, Chiron. I don't want to fight you.
Coincidentally, I'm not crazy about the idea either. Lucky us, we don't really have a choice, do we?
Hey, confirm something for me. I heard Saber of Black died already. That true?
Yeah, something like that.
Really? Why so early? Did Spartacus pick him off?
He died saving someone, so no. Nobody beat him, and nobody could have if they tried.
Are you kidding? I'll have you know I could kick his ass! Anyone who croaks that easily over saving one life is just weak.
Okay, well how about you? You know nothing about Siegfried, and you have no right to talk about weakness when you can't even be bothered to fight for real!
So he was Siegfried, huh? If you want to die that badly, then I'll start trying. Don't say I didn't warn you. Master, rulers closing in on the gardens. You'll still have a head start if you return now.
Yeah, just a second, Assassin. Berserker, I'm gonna level with you. It seems to me like all you want to do is fight me, and it's making this conversation feel very one-sided.
I do.
Oh, so you do talk.
I do?
You didn't sound very sure there.
Oh, to hell with it!
Well, as long as we're clear on that. Set! Caster!
With gusto! What a fitting opponent to break this in on, I must say. Berserker, if you grow tired of being free from your novel, then I may have a solution to your woes. Behold my creation, That's Folio!
I need to know where I am.
Is that not obvious, sweetheart? I can finally hear your voices. You can speak to me now. You can tell me what's wrong.
Don't call me that.
Oh, come now. It's all right. I'm not angry. It's all right. It's all right. Not angry. It's okay. Eve, it's okay.
Berserker! Damn it! By my command seal, I order you to break free!
How much of that did you see?
Most of it, but I couldn't hear what what your dad was calling you.
That's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it later. Who do you think needs an assist right now?
Well, Astolfo is Astolfo.
Right. I'll go back him up. Let me know if anyone else needs help.
Hold on! If you want to kill him, go through me! Come on! Come and get me a giant bucket of scrap! Are you fucking stupid? I just want to help! That's really great! Genuinely! You need to run! But you'll die! And you can't stop that!
I don't know where you got a noble phantasm from, but you clearly can't use it right. Still, you got guts, homunculus.
Sieg. My name is Sieg.
Sieg?
Okay, so first off, rude. Second, 3-on-1? Yeah, that's fair. Third, hi, Saber of Red here, and who in the green sparkly fuck are you?
Caules, I can't hold her off for long, but I have a plan. Do you trust me?
Of course I do, but...
Berserker of Black, I assume then. You don't talk much, do you? I noticed you like lightning. Here's a secret. So do I! It's just a party for homunculi, huh?
Caules, do nothing until I say so!
But you'll...
Trust me!
Okay. Would you stay down? I've cleaned up after 2 actual servants today. What did you think you were gonna accomplish?
That the best you got? Shit!
Take it from me, kid. Fighting for fighting's sake isn't gonna get you anywhere. Take solace in drawing first blood from King Mordred Pendragon. If I see you in hell, try me again with a better reason to do it.
That was a mistake! I don't care who you are, but taking his life, I'll kill you!
Well, you tried.
Hold on a minute.
Ugh, what?
I can't see Berserker anywhere. Can you?
I could have sworn. Ryder, leave the area. I'll intercept and provide support.
What? But I can't just...
Do as I say! Command seals, now! Both of them!
Right! Fran, by my command seal, destroy Saber of Red! Fran!
What are you waiting for?
By my command seal!
Do it!
Use your noble phantasm and survive!
What?
Do not die on me! Not yet! You need to live!
You're so dumb. Caules, I want to tell you something. My real name? It's Eve.
Damn it! That was all for nothing?
Vlad. Frustrated? This is all so fleeting. I mean, I didn't know what coffee was when I woke up this morning, and now it looks like I've thrown everything away.
Not necessarily. When you fought that servant just now, why was it you charged in?
I just sort of did. I'm not sure.
Then think of a reason.
You're asking for a lot, considering how little I know about anything.
And what might that little bit be?
Well, coffee sucks, so that's a thing, I guess. Okay, that escalated quickly.
Focus on what you know. Think of a reason to draw that sword.
Are we seeing the same dragon? How the fuck is a sword gonna change anything here? Do it!
What I know. What I know. Take that conviction. Force it on the sword. If this is what it takes to pay them back. Remember this place.
Man, that was a hell of a hit. Thanks for the backup, my guy.
That backup cost us a command seal. You better appreciate it.
Yeah.
No way. But how?
Wow, that's new.
I'm alive. How's that for a reason?
You massive dork.
Well, it's not quite hell yet, but I can fix that. You still coming in half-cocked, kid? Or have you not figured out why you're gonna lose?
That's bold talk coming from a tin can with anger issues.
Oh? Is it just me, or have you learned to bark?
Maybe. How does it feel knowing that between us, Morgana's dog is the weak link?
Okay.
Master! Command seal!
Got it! 1 minute left. Make it count. On it!
You know, I was kind of digging our little 1v1, but sure, let's just pop these off. Whatever. You want to get your ass kicked that bad? Who am I to refuse? You think a little lightning and one organ are gonna put us on the same playing field? Forget it. I'm ending this. Clarence? What is that?
Sir? What's our plan of attack? Sir? Surely you've heard the tale, Darnic.
Sorry, what's the context for this? We've just been staring at the grail for like 10 minutes saying nothing.
Those mages in the woods, they said the damnedest things, you know. They invoked my father's name, Dracula, but had the gall to add an extra vowel at the end.
Are you asking me if I've heard of Count—
Speak your next words carefully.
Aculadre?
I'll make you a promise today, Darnic. Force me to use that noble phantasm, and I will end your life.
Wait, that's one of your noble phantasms?
Yai!
Because I literally would not have known that if you hadn't told me.
Well, good, because you don't, I didn't, and this conversation is over. Magnificent! What a truly tall tale of titanically titillating titans! It's almost as if—
Caster, if you say that with 6 different alliterations one more time, I will kill you myself.
Come now, you must respect the craft.
Must I?
He's not wrong about one thing. However that homunculus is doing this, it's quite impressive. A normal mage couldn't maintain a transformation like that, let alone one so authentic as to combat an actual saber.
Do you think he's got any chance?
I haven't seen enough of what Saber of Red can do. I suppose time will tell when the blades fall.
Jeanne hates everything! Take Spartacus, they said. He's easy pickings, they said. Oh, you heal faster than I can damage you? Well, I would love to see you get back up from this. That should knock him down a peg. I'm sorry, what? God, can you at least tell the infantry what's going on? I'm really starting to wish this stupid grail came with a manual.
Hi, Ruler. Bye, Ruler.
Oh, you've gotta be fucking kidding me! Seriously, I don't understand the obsession you people have with killing me.
Archer, draw Spartacus toward Ruler. If we can get them to fight each other, we might just take out 2 birds with 1 stone.
Why again are you trying so hard to kill her?
Just do as I say. Everything will be revealed tonight, if you have patience.
Oh, come on! Hi, Archer, look, I'm in a hurry right now. I understand your faction has a murder boner for me, but can you put it aside for 5 minutes? Well, since you asked nicely, sure. You have no threat from me. Thank you. You would not believe the day I've had today. Oh, don't thank me. Thank Spartacus. Spartacus? Yeah, sorry, but I need him off my ass, and aggro's a bitch, huh? Oh, come the fuck on, dude! Come on. Come on. Kid, you need to wake up. If you don't snap out of this, both of us are going to die.
Who are you?
My name is Eve.
Sieg!
You know, if there's one thing you've done really well today, it's piss me off. I don't get this new look of yours, but it doesn't suit you, kid. Good try, then. You did better than short, pink, and stupid over there. Okay, first, ow. Second, Jesus, it's like Godzilla fucked Hannibal Lecter.
Saber!
What? I'm right.
Okay, first, no you're not. Second, get out of there. I think you've earned your 3 hots and a cot.
So what? No dessert?
Just run!
In a minute! Is it weird that I kind of feel bad for him now?
Mordred!
Thank you, everybody! I'll be here all night!
That's it. Come on, just breathe.
Why? Why? Why, after all we did, are you here?
Would you believe me if I said I was really bored?
Be serious with me. After everything Ryder and I did for you—
Don't speak for me! I'm upset that he's hurt too, but I'd be dead right now without him.
He didn't choose to leave without ever looking back. I broke him out so we get to see what he was missing. If you didn't sell that to him well enough, that's not his problem.
We can have this argument some other time, but if you don't get out of here, you're gonna get flattened.
Yeah, about that, my legs don't work. I think if I try to move right now, I'm just gonna pass out.
And we're out of time. Stay behind me if you want to live. I am gonna give you an actual serious talking to when we get through this, Sieg. For now, you two idiots keep your heads down.
I am as God made me, I have no desire.
Oh mon drapeau, je te protège mes compagnons. Luminosité éternelle. Nope.
We're alive! Neat!
Ryder?
Yeah?
Get off me!
Oh shit, sorry dude!
Please don't make me do that again.
Well, there goes our security deposit. Pura Mastra.
Kunda what, Shirou? Dude, can you wait like 2 minutes? I am seriously in the middle of something right now. Sorry, one moment. Look, if you want me to come back, you're going to have to use a command seal. Oh, you fuck.
Should I be confused?
I'm sorry, I really hate doing this, but my master is being the worst right now. If you want to keep fighting, go to the Flying Castle, but for now, I have to take care of something.
Wait, you can't just leave.
Sorry again.
Oh, the nerve of some people.
And I was actually having fun. Yes, Darnic, what is it?
What do you mean the Grail is flying?
That deposit is definitely gone.
This is my cue to leave.
I don't think physics work like this.
I don't care.
Okay, so now this is happening. Awesome. I have to go. Can I trust you not to die for 20 minutes?
I'd say yes, but...
Just say it.
Yes, but...
Good enough. I'll see you later. Please stay safe.
Hey, so, do we really have to run like this?
If you're going to complain, then don't wear peg legs to war.
I'm sick already. They help me focus my magic by inducing a lack of balance.
Everybody shut up!
Yeah, sorry about that. This time, let's finish it. Okay, so I know you're probably mad at me. I mean, I know Ruler is, but...
No shit! You could have died like so many times! What if an explosion vaporized your body? What if you hadn't come back? And speaking of which, how the fuck does that work? This dude gives you his fucking heart and suddenly is your fucking stand? What the fuck, Sieg?
You're saying fuck like a lot.
Well, you fucking earned it!
For what it's worth, thank you for standing up for me.
Well, you fucking earned it.
By the way, I kind of freed like a whole bunch of homunculi. Back at the castle, there's like a couple hundred, I think, and the only reason I'm not with them right now is because I was worried about you. So, what do you say? You want to team up for old time's sake?
Okay, I can't stay mad at you. Why not?
Was the scream necessary?
It will be in a moment.
Oh! Hi, Master. What brings you out here this fine evening?
Well, funny that. See, I've been keeping a close eye on you all night, and I've seen all of this little homunculus saga, including just now, in the flesh, and it sounds an awful lot like you're someone else's servant now.
You've been watching this whole time?
But of course! How else would I know you've been misbehaving?
Okay. So where were my command seals?
What?
You know, when I fell out of the sky? When Mordred had a sword to my neck? Hell, you could have stopped Berserker from blowing yourself up if you'd used one sooner.
Silence!
Sieg, I'm not crazy, right?
I didn't say that.
See, he gets it.
Enough! He gets it, does he? Well, fine! he can get it all he wants!
Okay, phrasing.
God! Shut up! You want a command seal? Then you can have one!
Ah, fucking!
I order you, kill the homunculus!
Oh. Fuck. Are you fucking stupid? Oh, foot's on the other shoe now, huh? Why did you provoke her? I'm not perfect, okay? Ugh. 2? Really?
Oh, what's wrong, Ryder? I thought you wanted command seals. And you, homunculus.
I kinda have a name.
Oh, do you?
Jesus, what is your deal?
My deal? My deal is our deal! I am your master, yet you abandon me time and time again for this toy!
Am I allowed to think that's racist?
Not helping!
That's fine. Mouth off before you die. After all, the thought that he'd take you in my place is cause enough for death. In what universe could a pathetic, artificial, soulless doll like you replace me? You sound like my dad. I'd stop to deal with you too, but we got bigger fish to fry. Sieg, was it? Good fight. Next time, though, put your back into it.
Why were her command seals on her gloves?
Oh, who knows? That lady sucked.
Wait, what's happening?
Well, awful as Selenica was, she was also my master, so without her, I'm kaput. It was fun, Sieg. Thank you for coming back.
You know I have command seals now, right?
Wait, shit, you do?
Yeah, kind of a package deal with the Siegfried powers. I don't know how I got them, not really, but that should mean I can form a contract with you, right?
Why didn't you use those to stop Selenica?
Do you want to live or not?
Live, yeah, I want to do that.
Then answer me. My will is the marrow in your bones, your blade the ribs in my chest.
My lance is the cage that guards your heart, my steed the thunder upon which you ride. I hereby accept this contract, and together we shall fight for the Holy Grail! Woo! Bro, is that magic or are we just totally in sync?
Please don't start calling me bro. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the castle. I think we should have telepathy now?
Sorry.
Just social distance, okay?
I'm gonna be candid, I'm not really having fun anymore.
Yes, at some point this sort of stopped being about us and started being about something else, didn't it?
My feelings exactly. You wanna meet up again tomorrow and do this right? Just you and me?
That could be fun. You know what? Let's do that.
I'm afraid not.
Friend of yours?
Darnic, you're supposed to be at the castle with the other masters.
Oh, am I? As I recall, Lancer, I'm the master. I tell you what to do, not the other way around.
And as we agreed, since this is my nation, that arrangement was to be reversed and I was to act as the superior.
You and what command seals? I command you, use your noble phantasm and transform into Dracula!
You bastard!
By my second command seal, survive until you obtain the Holy Grail. By my third,
cease your orders. You should have gone for the head.
absorb my spirit into yours!
Yeah, that's not how command seals work, man. You can't just hack your way into a servant's body.
Or can I?
Okay, seriously, what the fuck?
Darnic, you little finally! An immortal body with the power to fulfill my wish! And if a gobbling son of a whore, I can finally seek the greater grail with the full, unrestrained power of Count Dracula! I can split your face with your gun! Oh, cease the profanity, friend. Now it's time to unleash!
I knew that wasn't gonna do anything, but it still felt good.
Now if you'd be so kind as to fucking move.
Yeah, fat chance!
Oh, that's not good.
Fucking ow!
What? That was like exactly in my temple, dude!
Bitch at me later, I just saved your life.
Sorry, do you want to run that by me again?
Let me put it this way, you ever seen I Am Legend? You know for a fact that I haven't. The point is, that curse is very, very contagious. We gotta put this asshole down, now.
You mealworm!
I have just about had it with shit happening while I'm not here. By my command seal, stand down! Oh, fucking useless ass powers. Okay, guys, executive decision time here. There's a fucking vampire in the room. We're putting the team fighting on pause. I just noticed, does she sound exactly like me?
Priorities, sis.
By my authority as ruler, I command you, light him up! Alright, Chiron. Fancy a little archery class?
Whatever, sounds like fun.
Whatever you say.
Oh, that was really not hard.
Basically.
Wow, you really need to work on your aim. Oh.
Fuck! Shit! Fuck!
First me, then Shirou, now you. Every time I want to have a good fight, someone gets in the way and ruins my fun.
Get out of my way, you frost-bitten monster!
No, get out of mine.
Lancer, what are you...
Well, I'll just be on my way.
God damn it! Why the hell did the Red Servant stop helping?
I'm not sure. Also, why do you run like that?
I told you, not now, Leticia. Shit!
Damn, I don't think we can catch up at this point.
Can you cover me if I go alone?
Well, if an arrow's all it takes to get rid of the turrets.
Good enough.
You know, I debated letting Karna finish you off. It would have saved me a bit of work, but in the end, you just had to give yourself the one weakness only I can really exploit. How could I resist after that?
Why do you talk like I should know who you are?
Well, you should. It's been, what, 60 years? My, how time flies. I'd say you haven't aged a day, but, well, you shouldn't put milk in a time capsule.
Okay, first, that was uncalled for, and No, you aren't supposed to be alive.
That's rich. The kettle called, Darnic. It says you're old too.
But how did you?
Diet and exercise. What answer would satisfy you here?
That's not the... Wait. One weakness. What weakness?
Well, you are a vampire now. Welcome to church.
Spare me. Spare me and I'll never seek the Grail again!
Oh, fine. I'll pretend for a moment that you're capable of that. I'll let you go scot-free on one condition. Say her name.
Whose name?
I didn't think so. Well, there goes your shot. But just so you know, it was Anastasia von Einsburn. You know, the funny thing is, that's not the first of Darnic servants I've killed, though this one was far more satisfying. Listen to me, if the church heard me talking like this.
So you're the reason I can't go into spirit form.
Oh, did the Grail do that to you? My apologies, that must be agony. At least allow me to introduce myself.
Amakusashiro Tokisada. I know who you are. I'm a ruler. It sorta comes with the territory.
Huh. We've really done a terrible job keeping our names secret.
But if you're a servant, then how did you—
Did I get a servant of my own? Simple. The Grail may not recognize me as a master candidate myself, but when a set of perfectly suitable command seals is already up for grabs...
You took them from your master.
Correct. Though I could probably have just used mine. Funny that, I have the exact same seals that you do. Different pattern, but same powers. So kind of you to give my servants a boost before, by the way. So then, fellow ruler, or would you prefer a ruler of black?
Not even a little bit.
Worth a shot, but to the point. How do we proceed?
Forgive me if this is a bad time, but didn't you get stabbed like twice?
So you're awake now?
I have been for a while. Sorry, it's hard to talk this way. I'm not used to it.
Fair enough. Well, I guess you already know me, right?
I didn't before. Not well, anyway. You used to know me as Berserker of Black.
The redhead? You can talk?
Actually, you're just imagining me.
Wait, seriously?
No, doofus, of course I can. Sorry, that's not fair. You've been alive for like 2 days. I've been there.
Is someone there?
Are you okay?
I think so, but I can't really feel my anything.
Hang on. Let me just...
I'm not going to make it, am I?
Probably not.
It's good to know that. I mean, not good, but at least I'm not wondering anymore, you know?
Having almost died like 5 times in the past 2 days, I feel that.
I'm glad you didn't. And, well, I prefer this to getting flattened by Achilles or run through by a dragon bone.
Phrasing?
I know what I said.
Okay.
Your name is Sieg, right? Can I have one too?
Hestia.
I like that. Hestia, huh? That's a pretty name. Thank you for coming back.
It really is a pretty name, Sieg.
Let's go meet the others.
How do we proceed? How we proceed is that you stop this shit. As the ruler of this Grail War, I demand that you cease this activity.
Oh, so tell me then, because as ruler you should know this. What rules exactly have I broken?
Are you kidding me? You're seriously gonna rule me on this?
Actually, I am. It's not technically against the rules to move the Greater Grail, as this was already done by Darnic Preston Yig de Millennia. It may have been through manipulation of the Grail that I was summoned in the first place, but you are the ruler of the Great Holy Grail War, not the Third. It's also not against the rules to have multiple servants, nor for a servant to have a servant. All of these things have occurred in events sponsored by the Church, and never once were they considered a foul. I'm not cheating, my dear Joan of Arc. I'm just playing the game better than everyone else.
No. You're not just metagaming. You are flat out redefining the nature of this war. And in case you forgot, the Church doesn't make my rules.
And that is the funniest thing I've heard all day. Didn't you lay down and die just because they said so?
Okay. What do we miss? Is that Vlad?
Is it just me, or does he look kinda sulfury? You know, more than before?
Yes, well, Darnic and I had a disagreement. I gave him the chance to resolve it peacefully, and he dropped the proverbial ball. Speaking of, your individual masters and I had a similar conversation, and suffice to say, they didn't exactly catch it.
Oh, fucking seriously, Karna?
Thank you, Lancer. Just shut up. On another note, I do believe that Castor and Archer of Black are trespassing. If you surrender, I might find a place for you. Say, perhaps you could take grocery duty. I'm sure our Castor is sick of it.
Forget about it. I'm not betraying my master, and neither is he. Right, Castor?
Right, Castor?
Well... Oh, you cannot be serious.
What are your terms, Red?
Simple. As a ruler-class servant, I can break your contract by confiscating your master's command seals. All I have to do is touch your hand. From there, you'll be enlisted to help me achieve my wish, the salvation of humanity through the activation of the third magic. Functionally, it would make all of mankind immortal. But until then, we'd appreciate an occasional restock in the fridge.
Archer, hear me out. I've been struggling this entire time to figure out my exact place here. I'm saddled with a loudmouth brat for a master, half our faction's incompetent or going through puberty, and I think my voice changed the other day? But now in comes this dashing young lad.
Actually, I'm 77 years old.
87, Shirou.
Wow, really?
Dashing young lad. And he tells me I can have everything I want without even needing to win this confusing fucking Grail War. Think of it, Archer, immortality. Isn't that your wish anyway?
I want my immortality back, but I mean that in a godly way. Not living forever as a, sorry, you said third magic? Bioluminescent tennis ball. Castor, you do this, and you'll do it alone.
All right, if you insist.
If you want to get out of here alive, then start running already! Could you people stop breaking my gardens?
Come on, there's no time!
Alright, move it, people!
I know I've repeatedly said that I'm not gonna choose a side, but can I count on you to keep the Black faction together?
I can fucking try, but we already have 4 betrayals on record.
Don't be too impressed with yourself. I think Shirou just topped that.
You can't just free hundreds of homunculi from our chambers without warning! I made them! They're mine! What gives you the right to take our property?
Because we don't want to die, Stay Puffed. It should probably worry you that the literal second one of us had an original thought, he got the fuck out of Dodge.
She has a point. We'll start emptying the tanks properly, so you can stop making such a mess if it suits you. Can I ask where all this started?
Hey, sorry, I had some stuff to take care of.
Speak of the devil.
Oh great, which one are you again?
What, I put on 6 inches and suddenly you don't recognize me?
Siegfried did hit him pretty hard.
I don't follow?
I don't care. You see these?
What?
Come again?
Selenica is dead. I'm Astolfo's master now. I want to join your team and fight the Red faction. Roomful of Black faction masters, and he's the only guy with black command seals.
Excuse me? Look, we'd love to talk about all the little details, but it's a long story, and this isn't really a great setting.
I'm assuming you're the one that started this. You did break free first, after all.
I am. Look, I know that trying to negotiate a team-up after I just ruined your very expensive science project probably sounds ridiculous, especially since I was part of it, but I want to fight. I'll let go of my grudge against you as long as all the homunculi get to be free. And in return, Ryder and I will help you.
You'd work with us again? Isn't that defeating the point of escape?
You never asked our permission before. I'm giving it freely now. The point wasn't the escape, the point was having a choice.
The point is... Archer, come again? Castor did what?
Hey, Castor! So you asked me to grab you the core from the top shelf in the garage, but actually one of the cleaning homunculi moved it last night, or I guess earlier this morning, because a stray arrow came through the window and you had this thing marked top priority, do not damage pleasant things.
Stop now.
Which, FYI,
What an
abbreviations just sound weird coming from something that you wrote. Uh-huh.
We are going to play a wee game, alright? All I need from you is for you to close your eyes. I got a great surprise for you.
Sure! Oh, is this gonna be a lesson? Because I love your lessons! Did I tell you about this isn't a lesson? Please!
Oh, it's absolutely a lesson! A layered one, in fact. I'm teaching you, first of all, how to be the strongest golem there ever was. A bona fide Adam, if you will.
I don't wanna know how to do that!
And see, that's where lesson number 2 comes in. I don't give a quarter gram of a gliding fuck what you want! The level of patience I've had to keep up to deal with your insufferable yapping is stronger than any noble phantasm unleashed this side of the universe in the past 5 millennia. Top that off with our faction falling apart at the seams, this nonsensical war structure, and the fact that I woke up one morning sounding like Mike Myers in a DreamWorks movie, and I'm fresh on care for your little wish list. But really, maybe the lesson's mine to learn. I could have done this ages ago, any time really. I think Frankenstein would have been a better core, but I can make do with you. Perhaps I need to temper my expectations.
Wait! Should I at least try to calm you down and think about that?
And that was every bit as sweet as anticipated. Golem, get her Malkuth.
Took him long enough to leave.
Yeah, the black team really blew it. They had a perfect hand. All they had to do was not make it blatantly obvious where they were hiding the grail.
For some reason, I don't think discretion is their strong suit.
Yeah, you can say that again. For the record, saving the kid was the right call.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
Seriously, with the Reds having the Grail, every spirit they get closer to a full wish is really bad for us. It wouldn't have mattered if the black side had it, since they would have waited for the last man standing before taking the wishes. But the second the Reds hit their quota, that priest wins.
I'm just tilted, you know? I beat that kid. Twice. And if I wanted to, I could have gone 3-0. But when I heard that bitch with the gloves yelling at him...
Yeah, what was her name again?
Fuck if I know. Look, I hope you're right. I just can't imagine that ending in a way that wouldn't have pissed me off.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry?
No, you're fucking not.
Actually, you're right. I really don't have the capacity for that.
I gave you one job. Stay out of the fighting. Were my instructions not clear?
They were pretty straightforward.
Then why? Sieg, why? This is the one thing I asked you not to do.
I don't know, maybe I was bored, maybe I just felt like it. Hell, maybe I'm crazy and I convinced myself I have a destiny. But 100 years of nothing just didn't sound like the life I wanted.
I'm gonna have to look at you as a participant now. I can't always take your side anymore.
So, should I just not say anything, or...?
Shut up, Eve.
What was that?
Not you.
Okay, whatever.
Alright, question. Why did we lie to her just now?
Sorry, I lied? I didn't even know I could do that.
Yeah. You told her you couldn't feel sorry.
I mean, I can't. I don't think I can.
You totally can. I'm feeling the residual parts right now, aren't you?
No, I'm just kind of blank all the time.
I think your brain might be out of sync with the hormones affecting your mood, like cortisol and serotonin. I could try to use my galvanism to bridge some of the damaged neurons.
Eve.
I can try to shock your brain back to normal.
Wouldn't that be kind of dangerous?
Nah, I learned a lot about biology from my dad and my blueprints, and the Grail gave me some knowledge about that too. As long as I keep the shocks light, you should be fine.
Alright, we'll try it then.
Sure. Here goes. Okay, how do you feel?
Fucking damn it! I thought you could feel what I do!
Huh. Maybe I can't feel your physical pain, just your emotions. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, anything?
Maybe? I don't know, it's hard to tell between the minor annoyance and crippling regret.
So am I interrupting, or...?
Jesus Christ, how long have you been there?
Long enough to want to know who Eve is. Care to explain that?
Hi, Ryder. It's Berserker.
Oh my god, Frankenstein?
I will come back from the dead for the 3rd time this week and you will not outrun me.
Okay, noted, but seriously, how?
She might actually be why I'm alive right now.
My blasted tree shocked his heart into overdrive. Apparently there's a secondary effect of that attack that leaves a piece of me behind in the event of an overload. And, well, the rest is Sieg.
Wait, have you been hearing her this entire time?
Actually, no. It's only now that I'm right next to you that I can. Weird, huh?
Yeah, but has anything happened today that wasn't?
Ah!
You alright?
Well, aside from the broken ass.
I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Oi there, you lot in the courtyard. As you can see, Golem's done. Don't really need your job at this point.
Hey, jackass! If you're here for the Grail, your new boss already stole it, remember?
Oh, trust me, I already know that. I'm here to win the war. I'm fairly certain none of you can stand up to this Golem anymore. You can still add Berserker or Lancer, maybe. If I was up against Karna or Achilles, oh, fuck that. As far as I can tell, you lot don't stand a chance.
Holy shit, is that her wheelchair?
Is this really where you want to have this conversation?
Fair enough.
You realize none of you have the firepower to stop this, right? You got one ruler, a typical basement 4 eyes, a homunculus with no weapon, and a hybrid brat pretending to be a saber. Mine are bigger. You're not gonna win.
Yeah, you might be right. We're not gonna win. But we are a pretty good distraction.
Blech, oh no, a fatal injury. I've died.
You know something? You're a dick.
Takes one to know one.
Oh, fuck me.
Alley-oop! Welcome aboard Air Charlemagne. My name is Astolfo, and I'll be your pilot for the day. Whoa! Woo! Bumpy ride incoming, dear passenger!
Is this really the time for this bit?
Well, that looks safe. Not today!
Look out!
Oh, not you again!
Hey, thanks. Is that my suit?
Quite possibly. Fuck off, dude!
Are you fucking kidding me?
Hold on, what?
I mean, we literally just established that I can't do this anymore.
That was like 20 minutes ago!
And your point? Could use a hand, Archer.
I've got you.
Oh, cool. So not only is that thing nigh invincible, it can heal on the spot. That sounds pretty fair.
It's the terrain. Everywhere he steps turns into a reality marble. As long as he's grounded, we can't kill him. Ah! Did my flag just fucking bend?
Archer, can you see any weaknesses on this thing?
It has reactor cores where its heart and brain should be. The problem is the skin's too thick. I don't even think Balmung would... Wait. Ruler, can you call for Saber of Red? I think I know what to do.
I can fucking try. Mordred, we need you.
It's Saber of Red. We're not on a first-name basis.
Got your Mordred, Archer! Now do something with her!
Okay, Saber, Ryder and I are going
I
to...
know what you're gonna do, genius. Hey, Storbrand! What do you say you and me team up?
It's Sieg, and why not? Good enough. Sieg, you aim for the heart. Mordred, aim for the head. If we line it up just right, each of you should be able to hit both targets, but we need to hit both at least once. If we don't, we lose.
Cool, no pressure.
You said it, man. You guys are actually pretty metal. Maybe the black team ain't so bad after all. Hey, Ruler!
Kind of occupied, my guy.
Yeah, so I'm thinking since you asked me so nicely for help, I'll do this for 2 command seals. It's a fair trade, all things considered.
Are you seriously doing this right now?
Hey, 1 command seal, take it or leave it.
Fine! 1 command seal! Just do it, you greedy jackass!
Understood!
Game time. You guys ready?
As we'll ever be.
Archer!
Wrap up, Arcalia! My job's done now. Give a bell for me.
Well, here goes.
Woo! I haven't killed anything this big in centuries. Hell, I might have to put my shoulders into this. How about you? You gonna try this time, Sir King?
Can it, Crisco!
Oh, come on! Be fun!
Hey all. So, we made it. Welcome home, Fate Apocrabridged. It took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but after a lot of tears and time, this show is finally back. On a personal note, Episode 4 proved to me that I lost a battle when I canceled the original, not the war. Episode 5 proved to me that I've still got it, and I can handle making new episodes in the future too. Episode 6, though, is a pretty big turning point. The faction battle arc is finally done, and I honestly still can't believe it. I'm excited to work on Jack, and also to have some guilt-free time to finish a few things I've been putting off so Project Aether could come to YouTube. I want to first thank my patrons, namely Paladins, Dell and VideoGamer75, and Exorcists, Animation Creation, Mickle damn you Michael, and Ryan Walters. But after that, I want to thank the cast and crew. Not just of Project Aether, but of the old show, too. Thank you, the viewers, and every friend who believed in both me and this project. I'll do my best to keep this ball rolling. With that said, good night all. It's really good to be back.